A new horizon is opening up in your life at this time. In fact, you might even be aware of it, consciously or intuitively. But there's an important key for you to remember and live at this time if you want to fully step forward into this emerging horizon. Now, at the time that you connect with this particular message, you're in a very unique place. You've done an incredible amount of personal work, transformative work, introspective work. You're likely even aware of a number of changes that you have made inside to out. But there are likely a few things that may be inspiring a little bit of pause. That's all right. In this particular message, you're going to have an opportunity to transmute a few of those things. In other words, let's shift any part of your situation right now that might be pausing so you can take some decisive steps forward inward from here. I'm Danielle Lynn, and I connect with super rad cats such as yourself in messages like this across time and space. And this particular message came forward because you have done so much of the work. In fact, I get the sense that you are feeling maybe a little done with doing more and more of the work. Like there's this sense of, I have fixed it, I've done the courses, I've made the breakthroughs, I've shed the tears. Do I have to keep fixing things? Oh my gosh. Great news. You are not relegated to an endless cycle of fixing things if you don't choose to live that way. And in order for you to shift beyond that state, you may need to shift beyond a few of your familiar, let's call them even comfort zone beliefs. But I imagine you're primed to do so. After all, you wouldn't be here at this message if you weren't. I'm sure on some level you understand the way that you approach a situation is going to have within it the seed of its potential looping or transformation. I've spoken about this before with the perception that if you think that you have a problem and you go into your mind thinking, I'm going to fix the problem, then you start engaging your reality from a place of there's a problem and I must fix it. This sounds very logical, but it has a hidden hook in it. That hidden hook is part of what keeps you in a cycle of problem solving, fixing, problem solving, fixing. There is another way to actually shift what would appear to be a problem solution, but it involves a bit of a shift in the way that you perceive or you look at the whole situation. Instead of seeing it like a problem, instead of seeing yourself as needing to be healed or fixed, instead of looking at this as something you have to figure out, the first step in making a completely new shift, you ready for this? All right. You got to double check. You can still click away. This is a shift. When you are ready to look at this in a completely new way, the first thing you do is when something enters your life, whether you see it as something to be healed or something to be fixed, the first thing you do is you simply sit with it to the best of your ability. You sit with it. You sit with it not by trying to fix it, not because you think something's wrong. You sit with it in curiosity. You sit with it in presence. A little bit like, huh, that's interesting. You bring as much neutrality to the situation as possible, neither condemning it, nor judging it, nor exalting it. You're just like, oh, there's this thing. The second step is that you connect to your inner core, because you see, you are the inner to outer creator. When a circumstance that appears to be external to you happens, the moment that you start launching into a frantic fixing mode is the moment that you've bought into the game. When you observe it and then you come into your core right here and you go, what's the step for me to take? You are operating as a co-creator being. You're neither ignoring or bypassing what's going on, but you're also not buying into the game or letting it hook you. Instead, you're orienting to your center fulcrum of inner power, which right now I'm pointing to the heart zone, but we could really point to your heart, gut, mind zone, okay? Your whole three-part core. And when you orient here and you observe the thing, you might feel tension, you might feel discomfort. Your capacity to simply be observant while those things are going on, to have space, to be in silence, to listen, to observe, is part of your connection to deep mastery. Because as you participate with life this way, one of a few things happens. One is you're no longer operating from a frantic space where things can come into your world and then you have to jump and fix them. I'm highlighting this for you. When you have a different relationship to shock or to the unexpected or to new things coming into your world, you've already fundamentally shifted the game. Now it doesn't matter how wild anything gets, because no matter what happens, you will be able to observe it, you'll be able to go to your core, and you'll be able to tune in before you take the next step. And what this does is it dynamically shifts you from being an outer tilted reactionary being to an inward orienting discerning being. Whew. And talk about power. This is what you are remembering for yourself right now. This level, this shift alone with how you engage to anything in your life. If there was like one thing to point to, this is one of the primary shifts that I would point to really standing in your personal power. So once you've oriented yourself first here into the thing, now you have the opportunity to access your wisdom centers, not just your mind, but you can listen to your heart and your gut. Your heart and your gut work with the present moment. They are ones that can help you say authentic yeses or nos. As you access these inner wisdom centers and you're willing to sit with temporary tension and unknowing, what happens is you start to give yourself space to receive answers from within. And these answers from within are what can actually help guide you through the experience that you are having in your life. They can guide you through very practical steps in your life. It's about being able to move in a more flowing way in life so that it doesn't matter if not every step is perfect. It doesn't matter if you're navigating and now and then you make a stumble on the path, because by and large, you're orienting yourself in a highly synchronistic and resonant way, which therefore allows you to be human and not have to pretend to be perfect. We're always living in the now moment. All you're ever going to really have context for truly is the now moment and the response, the embodiment, the beingness to live in the now moment. By participating in life in this way, you keep guiding yourself to the next more resonant step. When you do, you actually open up new scenarios for yourself. Some people try and think their way through the whole line, but until you actually take the step, you may not see the doors open up. So what do I mean by embody? This is less of a declaration, and this is more of a choice. You might feel a deep sense of vastness, fear, expansiveness, excitement when you consider this choice. And part of the reason is because part of you may actually feel how you are shifting your reality by making this choice. It is a common misconception that changing your reality involves all these complicated big steps, but it's really just about your energetic embodiment. You are the one that is arbitrating your life. There is nothing outside of you that has more power than your ability to discern and guide your energy for yourself. Even all the vast organization and coordination of the universe, when you really understand the power you have to surf and merge in this reality, simply becomes many reality parkour skipping stones in which you can navigate the field of this world and this life, not trying to avoid your responsibility your slice of suffering, whatever it is, but through optimizing your experience, through allowing yourself the dignity of choosing what flavor of reality you enjoy. What flavor of challenge do you enjoy? If you notice that you have been feeling a little bit of a pause on moving forward, there is a resonant reason for that. And part of this may be defined once you get clear on your boundaries and on what is a yes and a no for you. If you feel like you're already clear with that, then maybe the next step would be to ask yourself, well, am I really living this? Am I really embodying it to the fullest degree? If any part of you feels like it's struggling or efforting or trying hard, that is a sign that you're in resistance to it on some level. Because embodying it is even easier than effortlessness. It just is. There is no more struggle or fight when you're embodying it. You may have challenge when you embody, but that comes from a completely different place. Exhaustion and resistance can come into play when we are trying to do something. And that's often an indicator that maybe you haven't really given yourself a full yes yet. In that case, no need to fight yourself, just get curious. I wonder why. I wonder what I think is more important, is more valuable. I wonder why I feel more called to not shift, and then make peace with that. Lean into that. Go, great. Well, if I'm not shifting, then what am I doing? And lean into that. Because one of two things will happen. Either you're going to be like, you know what, it really isn't worth it. I'm ready to shift. Or you're going to be like, yeah, I found something here I really like. Let's lean into that. And then it will be a direction you focus. What sometimes people don't realize is all you ever resist in resistance is yourself. All you're ever resisting is your own energy. When you find the resistance and you allow yourself to drop the resistance and just go, all right, we're going with the flow this way. If a part of you goes, well, hold up, hold up, hold up, then you can have a dialogue. You can get curious, you can shift. But you don't need to play the resistance game anymore, not with yourself and not with this reality. You can experience tension, you can experience change and challenge, but you'll have a different relationship with those as well. And you are unlikely to find yourself hitting your head on the wall of reality again and again in such scenarios. So I'm going to invite you to take a few breaths in, and I will too. Helpful when you have a body. And what we'll do right now is let's all together focus a bit on our hearts. It's the heart center area. And right now, I'm going to offer some speech from the heart. It's so beautiful to stand here by the edge of possibility, drinking in all the moments available to me, to you, and us all. A stretched out moment across time and space. Before I take the plunge, my vision can be anything. It can stretch to any height. And yet the moment that I take the plunge is the moment that I crack it open. Like an egg, you can never replace the yolk that has fallen out. And yet, as it emerges forward, so it becomes something new. As I step forward through the threshold, so both my dream and myself become something new. I stand here on the precipice of eternity, remembering the many, many times that I have stood here before, clutching at the pearl at my heart, my toes over the edge, looking off into the horizon, feeling never quite ready, and yet somewhere within, knowing when the now is. I trust myself in this ever-expanding moment to know when that now step is, without forcing, without pushing, without waiting, without delaying, just being as I am. I allow myself both the instantaneousness of the moment and the eternalness of it. Understanding that when it is time to take the step, I take the step. Knowing that I do so from the fullest, grounded place within myself, trusting myself fully and completely, being as I am with a deep breath. Here we are. How did that feel to you, my friend? How do you feel in this moment? Understanding the paradox of endlessness before you, and yet all there ever is the now. There is no judgment for how long or short you decide to stay here at this moment, but grant yourself the dignity of knowing that the answer for when the now step happens originates from within you. It is not an external signal. It is a clarity within yourself. All right, my friend, wonderful connection today. If you'd like to check the description link, there are some tools and resources there, along with a link to my community. I will be having some experiences coming up here shortly, so if you're not already in the Flowbook newsletter, I invite you to check it out so you can have first dibs at it when it comes up. And in all cases, please remember, you are navigating this reality to the fullest, knowing that you know how in every single moment. Give yourself that benefit, knowing this at the deepest core level. You are your truest ally, and you have your own back. You got this, my friend.